Hey guitar players, today I wanted to show you just a little useful major pentatonic shape that I find really useful, and hopefully it will allow you to kind of blitz around the fretboard somewhat effortlessly, relatively speaking, and be able to kind of relate this to different keys and that type of stuff. And hopefully if you stick around long enough, I'll show you how to relate it to minor keys as well, and then also how to add in some chromatic spiciness, maybe, if we're lucky. So yeah, let's get into it. Basically, all you need to do to be able to kind of get started with this is be able to find your root note on every string using your octave shapes. Okay, so I'm starting on G, I've got a G there, G here, and then the same up here as well, on the A, on the G, and on the E string. Okay, so if I can do all of that, I can use this little repeatable shape and yeah, be able to kind of start anywhere on the fretboard and play a major pentatonic shape, okay, which is quite a useful thing to do. So the way I describe this sometimes when I'm teaching this is find your root note, so in this case G on the 3rd fret, and I describe it as 1 3 3 1 3, like that, because you're going, that's finger numbers, so you go 1st finger, 3rd finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, so 1 3 3 1 3. And because of this little slide that's sort of built into the position, into the shape, you see, it's naturally got like a you know, it's naturally quite musical, and it's got like a bit of a flow to it, so which is quite nice. So when you get that far, 1 3 3 1 3, here you've got your next root note, that's a G again, and you can just repeat that shape. So you've got 1 3 3 1 3. So now we can go that far, alright? Play around with it, up and down, improvise with it, get used to playing things in different directions and different, you know, different patterns and whatnot. Okay, now when we get here, we've got a G there on the B string, and you can do exactly the same thing. So now you've got 3 octaves there that traverses the whole of the fretboard, down from the low end up here, and then you can, you know, jump into your stuff that you already perhaps already know up here. Okay, so if I was starting here, it's the same, and same with this one. Actually, you have to, because of the tuning of the guitar, you have to kind of just jump forward 1 to get that 15th fret, the D on the B string there. But you know, that's the only little quirky bit. Okay, and it's really fun just to kind of just whiz around with that, you know. And then it's actually quite relatively straightforward to just move into different keys or play over different chords, you know, because you just got to find your root note. Okay, so if I was then playing over a C, I find a C and I just go 1 3 3 1 3, like that. Okay. Back to G. Maybe go to D, maybe we're playing a 12 bar. Back to C. Back down to G. B flat. F. Do you see what I mean? You can kind of just wherever you can find your starting note, you can just kind of find that shape and jump into it. That doesn't mean we have to start everything, all of our phrases, from the root note, and we shouldn't. But this is a good start, you know. Once you get this under your fingers and imprinted in your mind, it's easier then to kind of mix it together a bit more smoothly, you know. But that's you know, hopefully that's quite useful. And then to relate this to a minor key, all we have to do is really just think about the relative minor. relationship. Okay, so we started in G, so this is simultaneously G major pentatonic and also E minor pentatonic, so the relative minor. So this is also E minor pentatonic. So if I was playing E blues, that would all work there. Okay, so how do we work that out then from a guitar perspective? The quickest way I remember sort of wrapping my head around this was wherever your major key is, so G, count back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, that tells you what your relative minor is. Okay, so the relative minor of G is E minor. Okay, or like if we're in C, we'd go, okay, we'd start on C, 1, 2, 3, that gives us A minor. So this is C major, but also A minor pentatonic. Okay, so knowing that is so powerful and so useful. So brush up on your relative major and minor relationship stuff. The other way you can think of it is you can think of what chord 6 in your key is, if you want to think of it that way. So we're in the key of G, we've got our chord scale, number 6 is E minor, so you can kind of do it that way. Once you've worked this out and lived with that idea for a while, you just kind of just know it, you just know it instinctively. But yeah, so chromatic stuff, basically one of the ways you can think of it, a lot of the time we do this for rhythmic reasons, to sort of land on the correct the note that we're after at a certain point in the bar. And one of the ways we can visualize this is like anywhere we've got 2 notes that are a tone apart, we have the option of filling in that gap in between those two. So any of these, this all works. So like that's like treating it as E bluesy stuff maybe. You kind of, I would suggest just kind of trust your ears with a lot of that stuff, So yeah, just kind of play around with throwing that in between. We wouldn't necessarily do it between every single note. Maybe we could, but there's no reason not to. But we might just choose to pick and choose our moments to do that. So. Just to kind of make it fit rhythmically with what we're chasing. So I hope that's all useful. As always, I've got some written resources over on my Patreon page if you want to go and check it out. That would be much appreciated, but hopefully that all makes sense, and let me know how you get on. Have fun. Cheers.